Logan, can you throw that straw wrapper away real fast?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, I found it.
286 and 287. Yesterday I talked about how today we would read some weather poems, and we'll talk about what a poem is. Now, usually we have a story that goes along with our main story. We usually have a short little story that goes along with it. This time we don't. We just have some weather poems. Poems are like little tiny stories in a way. Sometimes they rhyme, which means the ends of words will sound the same at the ends of lines. Sometimes they don't. But people usually write poems to show how they're feeling or to try to make a picture in your brain. So people will write poems to express themselves or to draw or to try to tell you in words what they see. And they want you to see the same thing in your head. Now, a lot of people, it says in our book, a lot of people write poems about weather. I guess weather seems to be a very popular subject to write poems about. They might write about a flash of lightning or the way wind bends flowers. And the three poems that we're going to read next will be about weather. We're going to listen to the words that repeat in the poem Night Drumming for Rain. We're going to see if it helps us think about pounding raindrops. So the person that is writing that poem or wrote that poem tried to make the words sound like raindrops pounding, hitting again and again and again. Okay? So when I read it out loud, I'll try to make the words sound like that, just by reading the words. Now, when you hear the word repeat or repetition, repeat means to do something again. You would say the same words again. You would do the same action again. You would write the same thing again. If somebody says repeat, it means to do it exactly the same way again and again. Okay? So here is our first poem, Night Drumming for Rain. Now, I will try to read this, like they said, to make it sound like pounding raindrops. You can either follow along on the board or you can follow along in your book. Hi-a-neo, earth rumbling, our basket drum sounding, earth rumbling, everywhere humming, everywhere raining. Kind of like rain in a way, but that's a poem. Now, notice it really didn't tell a story. It wasn't like once upon a time there was a bear who lived in the woods. It wasn't that kind of story, right? It didn't really talk about people. There wasn't a person, place, or thing, or events, or setting, or anything else. It's just some words that are describing probably what that person is seeing at the time that they're writing it down. Maybe this person is looking outside. It's raining. It's nighttime. This person is writing what they're seeing and feeling during that time. Okay? Notice, though, that they repeat some of the words again and again. They say earth rumbling, earth rumbling, earth rumbling. They say it over and over and over. And that's what people will do sometimes when they write poems. All right, now the next one is Who Has Seen the Wind? Now, I bet you're going to hear some words that rhyme or sound the same at the very end in this poem. So I'm going to read through it, and then I'm going to see if you might be able to tell me some of the words that rhyme or words that sound the same at the end. So, who has seen the wind? Who has seen the wind? Neither I nor you. But when the leaves hang trembling, the wind is passing through. Who has seen the wind? Neither you nor I. But when the trees bow down their heads, the wind is passing by. Did you hear any rhyming words in that page? Any rhyming words in that poem? Words that sounded the same at the end? Kaden, what words did you hear that sounded the same? Would you like me to read through it again? Maybe you can pick them out? Okay. Who has seen the wind? Neither I nor you. But when the leaves hang trembling, the wind is passing through.
The one where but when the leaves. Who has seen the wind? Neither I nor you. But when the leaves hang trembling, the wind is passing through.
Right. Which words rhyme in that, Kaden?
Trembling through.
Not trembling and through. How about you and through?
Yeah.
Neither I nor you. The wind is passing through. You, through. Do you hear how they sound the same at the end? Yeah? That means that they rhyme. They sound the same. Do they have the exact same letters at the end? No. But they have the same sound. You and through. All right. And then the next one says, who has seen the wind? Neither you nor I. But when the trees bow down their heads, the wind is passing by. What are the rhyming words on that one, Gwen? Derek, Mrs. Sableton.
Bow down heads and the wind is passing by.
How about I and by? Do they sound the same at the end? I and by. Yep. I and by are the rhyming words. So sometimes poems rhyme like that. You're going to hear words that sound the same at the end. Now, on the next page, if you turn to page 288, we have one more poem about weather. This one I like. This one makes me think of rain when I read it. Every time I read this poem, I always think of rain. And it helps, too, that there's a picture of rain behind it. But it also makes me think of rain, the way the words are written. It just says weather. Dot a dot dot dot. Whoop, let me read that again. Dot a dot 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 a dot dot. Spotting the window pane. Spack a spack. Spick flick a flack fleck. Freckling the window pane. A spatter, a scatter, a wet cat, a clatter, a spatter, a rumble outside. Umbrella, 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 umbrella. Bumbershoot barrel of rain. Slosh-a-galosh, slosh-a-galosh. Slither and slather and glide. Puddle a jump, a puddle a jump, a puddle a jump, puddle splash. A juddle a pump, a luddle a dump, a puddle muddle jump and slide. I like that one. It makes me think of rain. Especially when it goes dot a dot 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 a dot dot. Dot a dot 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 a dot dot. Then it makes me think of splashing in puddles because it's talking about splashing in puddles. Alina.
I had a rhyming word in there.
Okay, what rhyming words did you hear?
Spatter and scatter.
Not only spatter and scatter, but also clatter. Spatter, scatter, clatter, right? A spatter, a scatter, a wet cat clatter, a clatter. Wet cats would a clatter.
Wow.
Now, it talks about a bumbershoot
I don't know.
barrel of rain. Have you ever heard of a bumbershoot?
Nothing now.
Angelina, have you heard of a bumbershoot?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought because your hand went up that maybe you heard of a bumbershoot. You know, so make sure your screen's on, please. A bumbershoot is another word for an umbrella. Okay? A bumbershoot is just another word for an umbrella. We call it an umbrella. Other places they call it a bumbershoot. You might say, oh, I've got to go outside and get my bumbershoot today. Thanks to my umbrella, okay? Now, do you know what a galosh is? Or galoshes? Gwen?
It's this type of food the last time I checked.
Oh, you're thinking of goulash. Kind of sounds the same, but that's different.
Oh, yes.
Galoshes, I don't think people wear galoshes anymore. I know people wore galoshes when I was really young because I remember people wearing galoshes near me. They are like rubber shoes that you would put over top of your regular shoes. So when you go outside and it's raining, the rubber shoes keep your feet from getting wet, your regular shoes from getting wet. So it's kind of like a rubber boot or something that would protect your shoes, but you don't have to take your shoe off. You can put your whole shoe inside of it, and it just kind of covers it up like a big plastic rubber or big rubber sleeve that would cover your shoe up. And then you would be able to walk through the rain and your feet would stay dry. Galoshes are really kind of cool. I don't think they make them anymore, though. But we also have slosh and galosh that rhyme, and splosh that rhymes, and puddle and juddle and a luddle that rhyme. Now, are all of those words real words? No, they're nonsense words. But they do make the poem kind of interesting, don't they, to hear those silly words. Yes, Angelina.
I saw a rhyming word.
Okay, what do you got?
Jump and hunt.
Yeah, jump and pump and glide and slide. Oh, jump and pump and dump. Dump was in there too. Yes, Tim. Drip, drip, drip.
No.
Was it at the very beginning?
Stop.
The dot, 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 dot. That is the same word, so it does rhyme. Yep. Also, we have speck and fleck at the very beginning and spack and fleck at the very beginning. They're kind of just make-up words, like nonsense words, but they do make it more interesting. All right. So let's talk real quickly. How are these poems, like our regular story, Superstorms? How are they the same, and how are these poems different than our regular story, Superstorms? Jose will not be back for a while.
Okay.
When he does come back, I'll let you know.
Okay, sounds
He's going to be home indefinitely.
good. Okay.
So he's supposed to log in and be working virtually, but I have not seen him. So Derek is with Mrs. Sable, and so he'll be back about 10 after or so.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. Alina, how are they the same?
Because they both talk about rain.
They do talk about rain because they're both talking about what? Rain is a type of weather. Yeah. Superstorms in our weather poems are talking about different kinds of weather, right? Now, this one tends to talk more about, the poems tend to talk more just about rain, but they're talking about kinds of weather. What's another way they're the same, Gwen?
They both talk about weather.
Yep. Like I just said, they both talk about weather, right? Any other way that these are the same? That's pretty much it. Or, no, because we can't even really say the poems are informational. The poems are not really informational. They're just kind of the way people feel. Jamie.
They both have rain.
They do talk about rain. Yep. Superstorms talks a lot about different kinds of rain, and these poems talk about rain. Gwen.
They both have pictures, real pictures, because you see that they have pictures in the background.
Good thinking, Gwen. I didn't even pick up on that. You're right. There are some real photographs in our poems as the backgrounds. Now, poems don't normally have pictures with them. Sometimes they do, but normally they don't. It's not like a story that would usually almost always have pictures in it. But these people, I think whoever put these poems together decided it would make it a lot more interesting if they put some real photographs behind there. Because now you can kind of picture the rain a little bit better, or you can picture the wind blowing a little bit better. Yes, Alina.
They're both nonfiction.
They are both nonfiction in a way, but poems aren't really being judged by whether or not they're fiction or nonfiction, because they're just somebody's feelings or what they're seeing. So it's almost like having an opinion, and we'll be talking about what opinions are in a couple of stories when we start talking about fact and opinion. All right, so now let's talk about how are these different. How are the poems different than our story, Superstorms? Zayden, what's one way they're different?
There are poems in there, and in Superstorm they don't have poems.
Okay, so the poems are obviously poems, but Superstorms is what kind of story for us, Zayden? A story that tells us what?
About storms.
In this case, about storms. But what kind of story? It has what kind of information in it?
Fiction information.
It's facts, okay? Right? It's true information. It's facts. It's an informational text. So the poem is just usually talking about more feeling words, and the informational text is giving us actual details and facts. Gwen.
This it's just like a short little line of words of what the author is feeling, and in Superstorm, it gives real information about different storms. This is just talking about how the author
Right.
feels about
And poems tend to be a lot more short or a lot shorter than stories tend to be. Now, you can have a really long poem. There's a poet named Shel Silverstein who writes long poems that sound like stories. He has really long poems that actually tell a story in them, but they're still poems. These happen to be really short poems. They're not very long, so they're a lot shorter than the rest of our story. Any other way that these are different, Jamie? So it's not talking, it's only talking about some kinds of weather instead of superstorms, which is talking about a lot of different kinds of weather. Our weather poems are just mainly talking about rain and wind. Superstorms is talking about blizzards and hurricanes and tornadoes and thunderstorms and all that kind of exciting weather. More extreme weather, not just nice soft rain hitting the window pane. There, I made a poem. I hear the rain hitting the window pane. There we go. I made a poem just like that. Angelina.
So in Superstore, it's informational text,
Mm-hmm.
and this one it is
It's not anything really. It's just poetry. Like I was saying, it's really more just somebody's feelings, how they're feeling or what they're seeing at that time. But you're right. Superstorms is an informational story. It's an informational text. Poems are just kind of what people are feeling or seeing or thinking at the time. All right. Good. Let's put that away for now. And we're going to do